chasing the wind all over the world has put me in a lot of different places and learn a lot about different kinds of weather and wind, and that all applies to kites. It's very important to put yourself in a little bubble and design for one area and not really have a really good idea of what's going on in the world. So I think that's kind of important for the RPM, is all the kites actually, that they work well everywhere. There's places that are pretty fun and decent, but there's a lot of places that aren't so good. But they bring out all the bad qualities in kites. The things that you need to really address. With some of this knowledge, it helps the kites evolve. And the evolution of the RPM, it started, that kite started probably in 2006. I started working on it, and I had a couple versions that I really liked, and it wasn't until probably 2008 that I really started getting it pretty dialed. And Yuri soon was injured at the time, and he was coming back from an injury, and I talked to him and said, I really want you to try to fly this kite, because I think I'd like to build a kite that you could actually win a world championship on and give you the confidence to take it to a whole new level. So that's kind of that first RPM was the start of that. And then from that point on, it was an evolution of really making a kite that could win a world championship. So now that we've accomplished that 2 times in a row, the new RPM is even more refined. So it's just that evolution of over the years of tweaking a kite makes it really good. If you lived a day in a life of R&D tweaking kites, you'd be pretty blown away that little subtle adjustments can make all the difference. You could have 20 kites that look exactly the same and go, well, they didn't change it, and they're completely different. So I think the reason that a lot of people want change because they want new, but they also want to have all the stuff they had plus new. They don't want to lose what they had. So that's the biggest goal, is to make a kite that has all the qualities of the old kite, but it has some benefits in the flying characteristics that benefit it in the big picture for the next generation. So that's kind of, I think, where we're at with the RPM now. It's still evolving. I still think it's a great platform with 3 struts. It's probably the most copied kite on the market right now, so that's a great thing to know that it's in a good platform. It was a leader of that. There's a lot of other 3-strut RPM looking kites on the market. I mean, it's pretty much the norm. It's like having a shortboard or something. It's like it's becoming a standard, and it's a standard that's it's a good platform for kiteboarding. And we ride all the other brands just to kind of see where they're at, and I think we're very ahead with the RPM still, because everybody's kind of copying this platform. I think, not to knock their bad kites or anything, they're awesome kites, they're on a great platform, but I think they're missing a few key ingredients because they're jumping on late in the game. And the key ingredients really is the differential bridle. That was the magic discovery that we found on the early kite through all the testing, was that bridle system. Turned it on. If you have too many pulleys at the front of your kite or pulleys at the rear, you have less and less input going directly from you to your hands. And that's why a sea kite is just 4 connections straight to your bar. The most raw connection. I mean, that's kind of what slingshot kites are known for, is their feel and preciseness, and their build, of course. I don't know, if you fly a bunch of other kites in the market, RPM copies, you'll find 2 big differences. Slingshot RPM is very precise, and it has very intuitive feel at the bar, so you know where that kite is all the time. It's all at your fingertips. It's just the strange thing is when the canopy flexes, split strut loads up, it flattens the canopy, but actually the canopy is breathing, it has tension, and gives you this intuitive, subtle feel, but just gives you this feel of, wow, the kite does what I want. It's just like you feel like you know what the kite's doing at all times. I think that it's just been evolution of a really great platform that's